ژنرال جیمز جونز در مصاحبه با مجری تلویزیون کاپیتال هیل. اگر شما طرح 10 ماده‌ای مریم رجوی را بخوانید، همه ما باید طرفدار کسی باشیم که از یک رژیم واقعا دموکراتیک حمایت می کند و این در مورد طرح 10 ماده‌ای دقیق است. در رژیم ایران هیچ اصلاحی در کار نیست. مردم ایران به اعتقاد من در آینده ای نه چندان دور با سازمان‌هایی مانند شورای ملی مقاومت به رهبری یک زن در نهایت امور را به دست خود خواهند گرفت.
General James Jones is a retired U.S. Marine 4-star general. He served as National Security Advisor to President Barack Obama. He is eminently qualified to discuss U.S.-Iranian relations.
General, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Why do you support the MEK in their efforts?
Well, the thing that really converted me, if you will, from kind of a passive interest to an active interest was a phone call I got in the middle of the night in New York in 2011, I think it was, when the Iraqi army in uniform attacked Camp Ashraf, which was the home of the MEK at the time. And the person that called me was actually there on a cell phone, and I could hear gunfire in the background. And what was particularly troubling to me was that I knew that the American army had, when they invaded Iraq in 2003, discovered Camp Ashraf and went there to find out who these people were and everything else. And in returning for disarming them, granted every one of them a kind of a safe conduct ID card and put a full colonel, you just met one just a few minutes ago, in charge of the liaison with Camp Ashraf. And while we were present in Iraq, we worked very closely with the MEK and the people at Camp Ashraf and we had a great relationship. And when the decision was made by President Obama to withdraw from Iraq, the responsibility was transferred to the Maliki government, which was shameful in the way it treated the people of Camp Ashraf and cooperated with the Iranian government to persecute these people. And that attack that I heard, and of which I have a video taped to this day, and it occurred when our Secretary of Defense, Bob Gates, was actually visiting Iraq, which was adding insult to injury. But the fact that innocent people were being shot at by Iraqi soldiers in, frankly, U.S. uniforms that we gave them, I'm sure, for their army, using American weapons that we provided and Humvees that we provided and everything else, what I thought was just outrageous. From my hotel in New York, I called Admiral Mullen, who was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs at the time, and said, "Hey, you know what's going on at Camp Ashraf?" And he had not heard. And so I told him briefly what I was hearing on my telephone, and then I called Jim Mattis, who was the Marine commander of CENTCOM at the time, and he did not know. And so I informed him, and then of course I'm out of office, so I called the White House and left a message for my successor, and I can't say that anybody really got back to me and did anything about it.
In Iran, the movement for change is led by Meriem Rajavi. Tell me what you know about her.
Well, I know that she's elected. I've known her now for the better part of a decade, if not more, And I admire her because of the 10 points that she has articulated as her vision for the future of Iran, which is, you have to say this if you read the 10 points, is Jeffersonian democracy. And I think we should all be for anyone who in this day and age supports a truly democratic regime and is anchored on those 10 very Jeffersonian points.
Why should the world take the NCRI and MEK seriously? Why them and why not any other particular group?
Well, the NCRI embodies a number of groups, as you know, but to me, one of the reasons we need to pay attention to them, aside from the fact that I think they embrace the values, the democratic values for the future of Iran, but I think we should pay attention to them because Iran pays attention to them, and they pay mortal attention to them through Camp Ashraf 1, Camp Ashraf 2, formerly known as Camp Liberty, and now the persecution continues a little bit in Albania because of Iran's relentless attack and determination to do everything they can to eradicate MEK, NCRI from the face of the earth if they can do it. And I think, I think we have not, we, the United States, we've been divided by these different opinions that are just that. The people are entitled to their own opinions, but not to their own facts. And if you look at the history articulated by people like Ambassador Link Bloomfield, who is, in my view, the scholar on this history, whereas I think most of the others are that are counter to what I think we should be doing.
We talked just a little bit about politics and political parties playing politics with foreign policy. What do you think of the current policy, the current administration's policy toward Iran?
I think it's. I think it borders too much on appeasement. I think there has been a mistaken belief that there is a possibility that Iran is going to somehow see the light and stop what they're doing with regard to the quest for nuclear weapons capability. I think the evidence has proven that that's incorrect, that Iran is not going to change. They've never lived up to anything they said they were going to do. And as a consequence, in different parts of the world, they watch what we say and watch what we do, and the two don't measure up. And so as a result, you have boatloads, I should say plane loads of American dollars being delivered to the Iranian government in the hope that they'll somehow wake up the next morning and be, basically say, we see the light now. They don't see the light.
What should those policies be? What should we, when we put a statement out as the United States of America that says, here's what we stand for, what should we stand for?
Well, I think we should stand for not rewarding bad behavior, number one. Number two is the first time they fire at a U.S. ship or they fire a rocket at the ship belonging to our friends and allies is the next day the Iranian Navy should be looking at the world from the bottom up.
Fair enough. The Iranian president was killed in an accident recently. Is that an opportunity for the United States? And if so, are we missing that opportunity?
I don't think there's an opportunity in Iran. I mean, I think the 6 candidates that might replace President Raisi are all hardliners. So there's one I think I saw in the newspaper that might be a reformer, but that's tokenism. There's no reform going on, and the Iranian people I believe, will in the not too distant future, with organizations like NCRI, led by a woman, will eventually take matters into their own hands and reassert themselves for the future of a great country with a great history. But it's going to have to come from within, and we should not do anything that would tend to diminish our enthusiasm for that to happen.
General, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Tim.